Hello, and welcome to my article summary of Darwin Theory, Functionalism, and the First American Psychological Revolution. Now, I am also going to be going quite fast through these slides, so just bear with me here, and if you need to pause the video at any point, feel free to do so. Now, the author said it was necessary to learn functionalism as it was a fundamental building block for American psychology. Williams, James, John Dewey, and James Roland Angell were all influenced by Darwin's theory of evolution of natural selection, but the nature of that influence was unknown. The author argues that the image of functionalism and its relation to European psychology, structuralism, and behaviorism is fundamentally flawed. Chauncey Wright and the evolutionary foundations of American psychology were built off of the metaphysical club created by William James and two other young intellectuals, Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. and Charles Sanders Peirce. Keeping track of that name because he will show up again. This group liked to discuss controversial topics and created a philosophical pragmatism and observe the misunderstanding of Wright on Darwin's evolution theory, and this was important to the construction of functionalist psychology in America. By the time the argument's conclusion, the group had disbanded, and James agreed with one's understanding of apperception and pondered the question how consciousness affected an animal's actions and implored the question that if consciousness wasn't important to us, then why do we have it today? William James also created the philosophical or physiological psychology and used Herbert Spencer's principles, proposed that spontaneous variations was not just affected by thought but also by physical traits, objected to Henry Huxley, consciousness is the best course of action for survival, and James used the adaptation of Darwin's natural selection and Wright's evolution of consciousness to create free will. G. Stanley Hall worked at the Johns Hopkins University and created the first psychology research laboratory and founded the American Psychological Association. The stagnation of the Leipzig program occurred in the arguments and from these psychologists. One to propose that adult minds had the same generalizability and for experiments and dismissed Cattell. Lang discovered the reaction times were shorter if attention was focused on muscular response rather than the stimulus. Cattell argued this, and Titchener reviewed 10 different studies that supported Lang and argued Cattell, and Baldwin supported or tried to test the consistency of Titchener's claims, and this just led into a big debate on whether or not who was right or wrong. But Titchener last attempted to conclude Baldwin had misconstrued the Leipzig opinion and concluded Baldwin's claims were nothing more than conjecture. And there is much more information left over, but I am slowly running out of time. But the basic conclusions was Darwin's theory was the bedrock of the American functionalism, as it led to other forms of psychological fields. Natural selection was the primary foundation of American psychology, and each of the names mentioned had built off of one another or had some type of influence on one another to some degree. Thank you for watching, and hope you have a great rest of your day.